Hello everybody, I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and you're listening to Dirt Sheet Mania, episode 20. Hello everybody and welcome to Dirt Sheet Mania episode number 20. I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and alongside the Director of Creativity, he can be half asleep so you can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hello sleepyhead.
I'm absolutely cream crackered.
But you did stay up and watch SmackDown last night, didn't you?
I did, but I also woke up early this morning and I didn't sleep much yesterday. Look, I'm on 2 weeks off on holiday.
You are?
From work, so I'm like sitting there doing nothing but
You're
watch the
enjoying
World Cup. So
watching the World Cup, watching wrestling. And I've dragged you here for 11 a.m. Dirt Sheet Mania.
No, because you're just annoying like that.
I like mornings are my time.
No, I feel sorry for your missus.
Well, don't be. She's up before me.
Well,
yeah.
I feel sorry for her.
But she's on holiday for 10 days anyway, so
lucky her.
Lonely Craig right now.
Sometimes you need a break from yourself, Craig. I definitely need a break from you. So
you see me a lot more than you used to, so exactly. I can appreciate that. Yeah. Wrestling this last week, Raw and Smackdown,
and the UK Championship tournament.
And it's now live on the network.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't checked out mine and Kieran's audio podcast on the day 2, and genuinely an overall feel of what we think the new brand of NXT UK will be like, we talk about everything from the roster, the potential bookings, who could potentially be involved, and we even talk about the Royal Albert Hall itself and what it was like as a venue. So we'll probably repost that a few times on social media.
Just remember, cheap plug for WWE, even though we're not working for them, but tickets go on sale Friday.
Let's get round to Raw, as always. Raw first. We do start with a nice screen caption of the tribute to Vader, who passed away. Is it Leon White?
Leon White, yeah.
His real name. I mean, you're a WCW man. I mean, he was
WCW before I started watching WCW, but he had a big impact. I mean, he's a big guy. He had a big impact. Vader versus Sting matches. It's a bit of time in WWE as well, didn't he? But I don't think it worked out too well for him.
No. So again, lovely tribute to Vader. Rest in peace, big man. We do start with Kurt Angle, who rightly should be in the Hall of Fame, and the constable of Monday Night Raw, Baron Corbin.
What a constable he is!
You're not looking overly amused with the Corbin constable gimmick.
I mean, he looks better in terms of like the hair getting shaved off. I still, maybe I just can't get used to him in a sort of smart sort of waist jacket and trousers.
But I mean, it's crazy because he's gone from this sort of lone wolf, kind of slightly demonic, gothy kind of music, to kind of Corporate King Part 2. Man.
Has he come out to his entrance music yet?
Maybe Kurt's, maybe.
Yeah, I can't think he has. I'm drawing a blank there, but
maybe they're on purposely doing.
Yeah, maybe they're just redoing his music to have some sort of police siren and then the bill.
Oh my! No, I was thinking more right to censor.
What was the bills?
And he had those feet walking, didn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Constable Baron Corbin's music is now the bill. I'm gonna wait for his entrance video to come out, and then just gonna dub the bills
for the rest of this video. Could we call him the Old Bill?
Yeah, Old Bill.
So the Old Bill and Kurt Angle were in the ring.
Old Bill
in the ring. I do think he's getting some decent heat now. You know, being Stephanie McMahon's representative, he's the people are not amused to him.
Yeah, I mean it's a massive character change.
Huge.
If it works for him, it works for him. But just at the moment, for me personally, it's just. I don't know. It just seems to be better people for it, I think. But maybe that's because he was so different in his character before.
Yeah, it's a big shift, isn't it? It's a big shift. Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley out quite quickly in this one. Not too much breathing time. I've written here, and again, feel free to disagree with me. I know you like that. Roman Reigns' promos. Don't punch your mic. That's
why I think of Roman Reigns. I'll punch his mic.
Roman Reigns' promos. Do they just go copy paste? Copy paste.
Find a different word. Use a thesaurus.
Ooh, like that on the old word dog.
For a different word, and then
We know you don't like Brock. We know that you think.
Oh, I thought he loved Brock. I think.
Oh, really?
You know what they say, like.
If you hate someone so much,
and you talk about it so much, like, you actually really love them.
When you're a kid in the playground, if you pull a girl's pigtails, it's like, he really likes her, but he's, because boys are silly. Yeah. Roman's a bit silly. Yeah. So maybe he likes Brock Lesnar.
Roman likes getting close to Brock Lesnar.
Bobby Lashley raises a very good point. I'm going to try and keep going through that. Oh my god, you don't get this anywhere on other podcasts, do you guys? Do you know what I mean? This is why you listen to Dirt Sheet Mania. I mean, this is why we do it.
Yeah.
You know, who likes who? For the last 3 years, and Bobby's completely spot on, whenever Roman and Brock have been over the other side of the ring, Brock has won. So, regardless of whether that they think Roman is the man to take the mantle and Roman is the man to take the company into the new era, or the next era, wherever that is, from a booking, just completely look at booking standpoint, you look from how it's been booked in kayfabe, why is Roman being given another chance?
So
it's not easy to answer.
We're annoyed with Brock Lesnar not appearing, right, and all that stuff. Whether this is whether it's kayfabe, whether it's real life.
We just have to look at it through a kayfabe standpoint, right. I think, just to get clarity.
We're annoyed that there's no Universal Championship. It hasn't been defended. He doesn't defend it enough. La-di-da-di-da. But the thing is it not actually true? Why would Brock Lesnar want to defend his title again against Roman Reigns when he's beaten him all these times? Why would he?
Correct.
Why would he bother?
He should be mad at WWE. He should be mad at Kurt. He should be mad at Stephanie for making him do something again. He should be mad.
If you're Brock Lesnar...
I wish.
And you were that good and you were getting that amount of money to do that amount of dates...
You would do it.
You'd do it.
You wouldn't.
I'm not being funny. If I could earn the same money I am now, but only doing one shift at work, I'd do it.
Be a swimming teacher.
Anyone would. Anyone would. If you can get... I don't even want to speculate how much money Brock Lesnar got for WrestleMania. Yeah. A ridiculous amount of money. But this whole Brock Lesnar thing, it makes logical sense. It makes complete logical sense to me why he'd do it. I just hate it.
But that's a good thing. Yeah. From a again, we're trying to look at it from just what we see in the ring instead of trying to peel back the curtain too much and completely trying to and then that's when we get reality and suspending your disbelief almost in two different minds. We need to keep them separate as we possibly can in the day of social media and where everybody knows everything. But yes, why would Brock Lesnar face Roman Reigns again? Bobby Lashley, on the other hand, Bobby Lashley, similar background, just not as successful as Brock Lesnar. But again, MMA, different companies.
Yeah. There were trading barbs on this one, sort of like Roman obviously said about him going to MMA and trying that and trying to be a second-rate Brock Lesnar. I think even Paul Heyman said something in his little Facebook post that he put that Bobby Lashley was I think it's an NAIA, which is like the second level underneath the NCAA.
Is that what Bellator was? Yeah, because that's where he was.
And he went to Strikeforce, which was a second-rate one.
Is that on the El Rey network where Lucha Underground is?
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, he was basically saying he was trying to be Brock Lesnar and everyone, but he's like the second level Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So I'd be quite intrigued from a Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match. I think Bobby done really well in the promo.
Yes,
and it's
very good.
Since he's come back, this is the first thing I've gone. Yeah, he deserves to be there. For the last 2 or 3 months, he's like treading water, doing nothing.
They did this. They tend to do this. They did it with Nakamura. They did it with anyone that's kind of coming in. AJ Styles. They don't instantly go title match. They go right. You're going to go back on TV, live telly, WWE environment. You're going to have a feud with an established star that we know, like a Dolph, like a Ty Dillinger, in this case, Sami Zayn. We know they're a good worker. We're going to see if you're still kind of with it. Bobby was obviously with it. He looks even better than he did in TNA or Impact, whatever you want to call it. And you're right, he does deserve in the promo skills. I remember when he first came on the scene on SmackDown, where he made his name back in 05, 06. Instantly, you were like, "Wow, this guy is great! Look at him. He's muscular. He's quick. He's very fast across the mat." Promo skills have never been incredible, but now completely different story.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The problem is now. Is that apparently, according to Kurt, there's a snag in the old contract with old Brocky Lesnar, and there won't be that scramble match. So we've gone 1 week, just 1 week, And
It wasn't a scramble match.
Oh,
It was a multi.
a multi, sorry, yes.
I would have liked the scramble.
No,
I think there's something that they should bring back, a championship scramble match at some point in the future.
15-minute, 20-minute scramble match
where Brian Kendrick was champion for like a minute.
He was. So, the Brian Kendrick. Let's never forget that moment. The Brian Kendrick is WWE champion. So yes, I do believe that match now is not happening. The multi-person number one contender match. But Brock Lesnar will be on SummerSlam, but we knew he wasn't going to be on Extreme Rules.
But there's still those rumours that Brock may not be at SummerSlam.
I don't know. Well, if he's not, then I don't know. Okay, ignoring everything. Let's just say this right now. Ignore whatever. For me, your champion needs to be there. I know he's getting a great deal, but even from just wrestling, I like having AJ on SmackDown all the time. I like it.
It's like, even though that AJ was in Australia on SmackDown this week to promoting the Super Showdown.
It's 1 week.
It's 1 week. But the thing is, like, that's the type of thing that, AJ's not there for 1 week. So let's just stick a little promo video of, like, AJ Styles, maybe just shilling some gear or something like that. So he's on TV.
Yes.
He's not necessarily there live. It's a video package.
Yes.
It's done.
He's still mentioned, still spoke about.
If you imagine doing that on Brock Lesnar, you get the same video package every week.
Because
no new client, Brock Lesnar.
Because there's no new footage.
Yeah.
We were talking before we started, and I used a interesting analogy. I'm sure everybody out there has seen Friends at some point during their lives. If you haven't, what are you doing with yourselves?
It's on Netflix now.
It is on Netflix. And
a lot of people shit on a lot of things about what happened in the early 90s.
Yes.
Like...
Friends do attract a lot of different...
Yeah, a lot of people hate Ross now for some reason. How can you hate Ross?
No, there's a lot of... In the 90s, there wasn't so much of an issue with some of the storylines, but now...
And Joey's misogynistic, and it's like, well, hang on, that's Joey.
I think they accuse Ross of being homophobic because his wife turned out gay. Yeah. Joey for being horrifically misogynistic and almost like a predator when it came to sexual deviance. If that's the case, then remember that was in the 90s. Yeah. That's in a completely different time.
Did you not watch the Attitude Era?
Well, exactly. So... Anyway, I used this analogy where Joey was talking to a girl, obviously in Friends, and he says, so where's your TV? And she says, I don't have a TV. And then Joey says, but what's all your furniture pointing at? And you think, Craig, what you on about? Well, this is the same with Raw. Brock Lesnar is the TV, and the wrestlers or the undercard are the furniture, and you need a focal point. Now, Seth, and now what is Dolph, can be that focal point, because they are effectively the top men's champion. The women still have their focal point. Can you imagine if the Raw Women's Champion just disappeared?
Using your analogy, that's like saying, so, you always used to have those smaller portable TVs in your bedroom. The Universal title is your big centerpiece of a TV, 50-inch LCD.
If you watch our videos, your big television is your
And that's like, but at the moment, like the Intercontinental title is like the smaller TV that you can probably barely watch anything on.
The portable one, the one that you trust because it's always going to work, not like your flat screen that could break. Your portable one's always going to work, but you'd rather watch the big one, wouldn't you? Just like because you like it. We do digress because eventually Bobby and Roman are interrupted for the second week in a row by the Revival, the top guys. They lost last week, the Revival. They got themselves a rematch. We do know that Roman versus Bobby will happen at Extreme Rules. Maybe it becomes a number one contender match. We'll see as time goes on. Kieran, can you tell everyone what happened with the Revival versus Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns on Raw?
I think the Revival won, Craig.
They won. They won
a match.
And how did they win? Was it with Shadow Machine? Was it with a big move off the top? Did someone go through a table?
No.
How did they pin Roman Reigns?
They got him with a roll up.
A schoolboy. Yep. They pinned him with a schoolboy. Wow.
So Braun's winning the Universal title.
Yeah. I think I've got a better chance to win the Universal title. Right? It just shows you what. I'm glad the Revival.
Yeah, I'm glad. And the thing is, when these put together tag teams face real tag teams,
they shouldn't win.
They shouldn't win.
No.
Like, I get it to a degree, when John Cena and Shawn Michaels won the tag titles, right? I mean, they're two greats, or future Hall of Famers. You'd probably say both probably in the top 10 wrestlers of all time. An overall.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, maybe you can see it, right? But at the moment, Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, they're there at the top echelons, but they're nowhere near.
Even Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins winning the tag titles is a ropey stretch.
Yeah.
But I agree, and it's lovely to see these two actually picking up a win and being on Raw regularly now, because they both had such an injury issue. One, Dash then had an issue, then obviously Scott Dawson. So it's great to see them both on Raw regularly. Talking to tag teams, the Tag Team Championship picture at the moment. Was it the Eater of Universes or whatever?
You can never remember the name
because it doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does.
What is it?
It's the Deleters.
Deleters
of Worlds, because Bray Wyatt was the Eater of Worlds. So now it's the Deleter of Worlds.
Well, Bray and Matt.
Get it right, Donut.
Bray and Matt.
I'm the Eater of Donuts.
Donuts. Are you trying to get on the old?
I really want some donuts.
Are you trying to get on the bill then with old Constable Corbin?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You like donuts too much.
Yeah. Hello. What we got over here?
Jesus. Never look at me in the eye and say that again. Bray and Matt, they're in the ring. They have a tag team match. Sorry, they don't actually. You throw me off now. Matt Hardy versus Curtis Axel. Again, they've established the tag team. The B team have got their number one contender match. They won it quite early on, like maybe 3 weeks ago now. And Extreme Rules is what, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away?
Two now, yeah.
2 weeks away. So they've established it quite early. You're having singles matches right now. I'm not as interested as in the tag division.
Yeah, they should have won the number one contenders, and then maybe
this week.
Maybe they should have had the week after or the week after that. Like to wait another 4 or 5 weeks. Next week you're going to get probably Bo versus Bray.
Yeah,
which is what we want to see.
Well, funnily enough, the thing that I'm most interested about, and I know we're talking earlier about behind the curtain, kayfabe, what's real, what's not real, because we know obviously that Bray, Wyatt and Bo Dallas are brothers in real life, the sons of IRS, rather, I should say. When they do the parody segments, Curtis and Bo dresses up as Bray, and you just saw something and go, they're really brothers. Yeah. And if you kind of I don't know if you did this, but I closed my eyes and I just, boy, it really does, really sounds like Bray.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, I would still, a bit like when I wanted Matt and Bray to be a team, and they did.
Yeah.
And I kind of want these guys to become a more of an undercard group to raise up, maybe. Yeah. It won't happen.
There was an interesting picture I saw on Twitter of Matt Hardy facing Kurt Hennig, and obviously on Raw, and this is a throwback to that. It's like 16 years ago or something like that.
Well, they were both in the company at the same time in around 2002, when Curtis Axel, when Mr. Perfect made his return. He was only in the company for about 6 months, 7 months before he moved on. But, okay, cool. That's awesome. Well, there you go then. That's brilliant.
It's not every year or every time you can say that you've wrestled a father and son in a wrestling ring. I'd say
some people would be able to say they wrestled Dusty and Goldust.
Yeah.
Not many.
I'm not saying it's not as much as it's not like in football terms. It's not very often you see a father and son play in the same football team at a professional level.
No. I think it happened with Iceland.
I think it was Idiger Johnson.
Yeah.
Done it. But it's very, very, very rare to happen. It probably happens a little bit more in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they can't wrestle
at a professional level at the WWE.
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Obviously, nobody can say that they wrestle both Rick and Charlotte because this can't happen at the moment. One day maybe, as we've spoken about.
There's not many. There's not many people that can say that have wrestled Ric Flair. There's probably around right now, even sort of thing.
Jericho.
Yeah.
Sort of. Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. You're literally looking at all the older talent, really.
Oh, you have to be over 40 now.
He retired, 8 years ago?
A long time. Well, which 20, time?
20. Well, in WWE
against Shawn Michaels.
24. So that's 10 years ago. Ric Flair, but then he retired in WWE.
In WWE, yeah. If you want to see any Ric Flair matches after that, don't watch TNA. They're not very good.
That's crazy, 10 years ago.
I remember watching that match.
Yeah,
it feels like yesterday. 10 years. Wow. So yeah,
we old, brother.
We old. We move on. Akam and Cesaro. Rizar. The authors of Pain are back on Raw. Where they been?
Shining Paul Ellering's head.
Well, after they got rid of him.
Yeah.
As a sorry.
Yeah.
So they had a small segment backstage with Titus Worldwide, and after they absolutely decimated some young local talent, they took it too far, and Titus Worldwide made the save. It would appear they're going to go to a small angle. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a pre-show match on the pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks' time.
So, Craig, when are we moving the Authors of Pain to SmackDown?
I think the phrase ASAP comes to mind. SmackDown has a absolutely loaded tag division.
Yeah,
if you take thing is though, they haven't treated the guys on Raw very well. You've effectively got two teams that one was Bray and Matt are now an established team, and the B team were effectively lackeys for a year, 2 years. You have got the Revival, you've got the Authors of Pain, two teams that absolutely ruled NXT in two different eras, and they're not being used properly.
Possibly American Alpha as well.
With Jason Jordan's potential return.
Slater and Rhino is always a contentious one for me, but they are the first SmackDown Live Tag Team champions. But
they're a very trusted team. Yeah. Again, they don't look like one, but they're now a trusted team.
The weird thing is, we've talked about this before, but the SmackDown Tag Division is more stacked, yet it has less time on the show. So why wasn't
Cesaro and Sheamus haven't been on SmackDown for about 3 weeks now. So you look at the SmackDown Tag Division, you think, wow, Usos, amazing. Help me out. Oh, we've got Sanity as well now, as well. New Day. The Bludgeon Brothers are the champs, who may be the lowest on the totem pole. Yeah. You've got the Good Brothers.
The Good Brothers.
And again, like I say, Cesaro, the Bar haven't been on SmackDown for a few weeks.
He's now got another team that we'll be talking about later as well on there.
So you will actually, yes. Stay tuned. Yes. Hopefully that they actually do something with them now, because as I say, the Raw Tag Division could be much better. I'm not saying we need the Revival versus the Authors of Pain, because it's very, very... The Revival almost seem to be baby faces in that match, because they're the underdog, the smaller guys. Right, we now move on to two women's segments. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, who are now back together again for the 13th billionth time. Kieran, help me out here. What is Mickie? She's like, right, we need you to go with Alexa today. Is it just on a show-to-show basis now?
I just don't know. I don't know.
They have a recap from last week where Ronda absolutely obliterated everything in her path. Natalya came out pretty much defending her friend's honour, but said she's not alone in her match with Alexa Bliss.
In this, Natalya goes, 23 days until she's back, Alexa. 23 days.
Until Ronda's back.
And hang on, she was on a house show the other day.
Ronda?
Yeah.
Oh, she's still doing house shows? What?
But they Instagram the photo out saying, Ronda's filling out a contractually obliged event. So I'm like,
that's so shit.
Why not just call her Randa Rousey or something like that and put a mask on her like did with John Cena? Just
like Mr. America.
Juan Cena.
Remember that? Hulk Hogan was Mr. America.
I get it, but that's the thing. If they don't, I know they want Ronda on the house shows because people are there to see her. But
don't have
you
the
have
storyline.
Remember, every time they have a house show, it's cards subject to change.
So if I was going to a Raw house show, I'd be like, it's a shame Ronda's not going to be here. I'd already know that Ronda won't be there. So, but the fact that the WWE if other people said, "Oh my God, Ronda's here," it would still be kind of like not underground, but a little bit more discreet. Yeah. The fact that WWE even put on their own Instagram account going, "Ronda's here," it's like, no, she shouldn't be.
What they could have done, for instance, to make it a bit sort of a viral thing, is they could have had just Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax on a house show for the title. Mm-hmm. And then just have Ronda run down.
Well, yeah,
jump the barrier and just punch her.
She's rogue.
Yeah.
Have her be rogue, and then you could have a quick thing on Raw going, I was not happy this past week when Ronda invaded Raw. Ronda invades Raw? That sounds so much cooler than Ronda's doing her contractually obligated thing.
And then like you could have had on Raw, just Kurt on the phone to Ronda saying, look, you're suspended. You're meant to be suspended for 30 days. So your 30-day suspension starts again now.
I tell you what, I don't want to see.
The process
I don't want to see her do what Cena does. You're fired. You're suspended. He still shows up. That's boring. I hate that. What a pointless storyline. The fact she's doing it at house shows is annoying enough, but the fact that it's not on TV is just
did it
about
not happen
okay.
with Roman before WrestleMania?
Of course it did. He didn't miss a week.
Yeah.
He didn't miss a week. He was on the follow-up. It was running up to WrestleMania, and when he was facing Brock, he didn't miss a week. He was there every single week. He'd walk through the crowd, get into the ring, no music, nothing. Utter waste of time. Just don't bother anymore.
Anyways,
Alexa Bliss wrestled Natalya, and Natalya made her tap out. So does that mean Natty gets added to the women's match at Extreme Rules?
You'd assume so.
that kind of thing happens these days. Unofficial number one contender matches.
So obviously, we've got Extreme Rules and SummerSlam. So to have an Alexa Nia match and then assume going into an Alexa versus
Ronda match,
Ronda match at SummerSlam, I think it almost makes sense to put Natalya in to make it a triple threat, just to keep
you could
Nia
have
Jax in the background.
I'd actually like a fatal four-way at SummerSlam. Really stack it in. Natty, Ronda, Alexa and Nia.
See, SummerSlam's like the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, though, isn't it? So for me, it has to be Ronda versus Alexa, because I assume at WrestleMania we're going to be getting Charlotte versus Ronda.
No, Charlotte versus Asuka. Again, two.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think the way it's all booking out that Ronda wins the Rumble. So maybe that means if she then gets to pick what show she goes on. Maybe, but then SmackDown can't have all of those. You can't have all three of them. Two of them have to be on one show, and one has to be on the other show. You can't have all three on the same show. I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless Ronda does pick up that Raw Women's title, and then Asuka/Charlotte. But I think you have to do Charlotte versus Ronda first.
I think if they don't go with Ronda winning the Rumble, they go with Charlotte. Cause
yes,
I think that's like Charlotte's only thing that she's not already done.
Yeah, she's done that.
And obviously the briefcase.
She's done. Yeah, true. So ticking the things off the list almost, and deservedly.
Because she's going to be more than a 16-time women's champion. So
she will be. By the time she's retired, she'll be. I
wonder if she'll have more wives than Ric Flair as well.
She married twice. So, but anyway, we're not here to talk about marriages and whatnot.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've seen, but she's in ESPN's top 10
do you know what?
women's bodies issue. So I can't remember what the official thing is.
She's just wearing wrestling boots.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, maybe it's just because I'm older and I'm slightly more mature now, believe it or not. But I looked at them, I thought, good on you.
Yeah.
Looks
I was like, wow.
very
I was like, never
powerful.
expected to see Charlotte naked in a wrestling ring, but
not in 2018.
It wasn't like porn. It wasn't
Playboy.
Like it was very well done, because that's what ESPN do. They celebrate they call it the body issue, and they do it with men as well. It's not just women. This isn't just looking at women.
Because I don't know. I don't know too much about this.
They just have men pose naked and women pose naked. And I think they sell proceeds.
It's quite tasteful.
Yeah, it is. I think they call it the body issue. There's plenty there.
She recreated her figure 8 leg lock with the one arm as she did against Asuka at WrestleMania. She recreated that. But yeah, very, very tasteful, very powerful. The lighting, I think, was extremely good, because you accentuate other parts. Because she had her boots on.
Yeah.
And
obviously, like I'm not gonna. This image was probably touched up in a way, but that's when you're trying to obviously not show certain parts, they have to obviously touch certain things up, change the lighting on it and things like that. So
I didn't even think anything like that could be was allowed this day and age.
Yeah, but it's not touching up to make her body look better. It's touching up to make sure that nothing's being showed more than needs to be shown, sort of thing.
Yeah, you can't. You can't
show a nipple.
No. Jesus, no.
They need to make sure the lighting sort of reflects that, and maybe they need to darken around the area or just above it. But whatever. But talking sort of a bit of a geeky nerd about that.
No, editing. But, you do the editing.
But yeah, that was interesting to see. I thought it was just a quick point to raise.
But
it's good for WWE, because she's her probably the best women's athlete there.
Yeah, her profile
is Ronda, but she's an actual wrestler.
Yeah, her profile is higher in that respect, and obviously
she's a flair.
And absolutely she's a flair. The next segment I want to talk about is Sasha Banks and Bayley. So Kurt said you have got one final opportunity to be friends. It's odd that Kurt is almost pushing them to be mates, like, we're in wrestling, mate. Make them have a match. Don't make them tag again. Like, they had a fight last week. They've had fights countless times. Yet they end up kind of being a team again. They fall out. They haven't really made up in the last months. Really, like, proper made up. They haven't really forgiven each other for doing what they've done to each other. Which for now, all they've done is just jump each other. So there's a six women tag. The Riot Squad versus Ember Moon, Sasha and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley are very, very anxious around each other, not tagging each other. You can see, that it's basically Ember Moon trying to keep the team together for the longest part as she possibly can. Eventually, the inevitable happens. Sasha gets pinned by Ruby Riott, And before JoJo can even finish saying, and the winners of this match, the Riot Squad, Bayley is on Sasha like flies on shit. She beats the tar out of her. Absolute tar. Kieran, when you were watching this, did you think at last, or were you like, we've done this before?
I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still sit there and I think, Sasha's the one going to be turning heel.
I've said it before, Sasha's the best heel women in maybe past Charlotte.
But I was very surprised. And the crowd ate it up. They loved it. They obviously waited to see it. So I saw a few polls on Twitter saying, is Bayley actually a heel now? And I'm like, well, she wouldn't be if she just beat her down and just walked away in the ring. But she carried on. She threw her into the ring steps, threw her into the ring post.
If she'd have just hit her finisher in the ring, it's like, you're cross.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Yeah. She carried on doing it. There was a ruthlessness there of a heel. And to me, she is. She's turned now. There's one thing that I would have liked to have seen in this little segment. It was maybe Bayley when she first beat down Sasha and she's standing in the ring and she's looking around to the crowd. Maybe she could have taken this side ponytail out, just taken the band out and just threw it in the crowd, threw it on the floor, whatever, just to sort of signify, I'm no longer Bayley, the sweet, charming little girl, that little woman that does, that gives out hugs and things like that. I'm more ruthless now. I don't care.
I'm a woman.
Yeah,
almost.
I'm throwing this away. This doesn't mean anything.
Even if she'd have taken the side ponytail out and put it just in the back, like that's me now. Yeah. Ponytail back to normal. Yeah. So later on in the evening, to both Sasha and Bayley, despite Sasha's actually not being on TV, it was actually on the YouTube channel exclusive, which I find confusing because it means as much to Sasha as it means to Bayley. Yeah,
but they've done it with Brian after.
True, they did after SmackDown. I just thought that was a time constraint issue, but hey ho, why not?
It's content. It's to get views on YouTube, isn't it? WWE love to shill their things, saying they're the highest rated show on YouTube with 100 million views or whatever.
So the point I'm trying to make is that Kurt says to Sasha and to Bayley in separate conversations, this cannot happen anymore. You two are going to counselling or you are fired. Do you know what? Screw you, Kurt. I'm fired. Hi, SmackDown. Take me in. Don't go. Why are they going to counselling?
Paging Dr. Shelby.
Well, it's funnily enough what happened on SmackDown is weird enough to see what happened on Raw. Sasha and Bayley are going to counselling.
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
No. It makes sense if you're a caring manager that has two great talent to send them to get their head sorted mentally, right, from a mental health perspective, right?
Okay.
But what they don't get is that there are other people on that show,
the same, not just SmackDown, the same show
have done things
to each other
that are a lot worse and never had to go to counselling.
So I assume,
and it's because it's two women, it's because they're bitching and catfighting and everything like that.
Do you reckon it's that?
I just don't think. I'm not being funny. And this is a stigma attached to it. But if they said, Roman Reigns, you've got to go to counselling, they don't want their top star to say that he needs counselling.
So Roman Reigns, let's say it as it is. It was attempted murder on Braun Strowman. Yeah. Okay, doesn't have to go to counselling.
No.
Braun Strowman with what was that hook thing? He pulled that hook.
He pulled a stage down. He's
over Kane and Brock Lesnar. Yeah. Is Braun going to counselling? No. Now, okay, you can say you said about the female aspect there about all the catfight. Well, it worked with Brock. It worked with Kane and
Shinsuke Nakamura continually low blowing a man.
Yes.
Does he not need to go to counselling? Does he want to grope a man? Does he not want to? No, he doesn't have to go to counselling.
Is it an underlying homosexual thing he has? Is it just because he's a bad bloke and wants to cheat?
Yes.
He should go to counselling.
But every week now. Craig, we should do a segment every week.
Who needs to go to counselling on WWE?
This week.
Mauro Ranallo, has he got a bad heart condition? Go to counselling. Calm down, Mauro. Yeah. Does he need to go to counselling?
Does he have a session with Mamma Mia? Go to counselling.
Is Percy Watson half asleep on commentary? Go to counselling.
Constable Corbin lost his head. Go to counselling.
Does Victor need to shave his head? Go to counselling. Are you clinging onto your hair, Corbin? Victor, go to counselling.
Does Vince McMahon still want to have his job in WWE? Go to counselling. Can we get rid of him now? Go to counselling. The
Katie Vick storyline, go to counselling.
Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, you shouldn't have had a feud. Just go to counselling.
He shouldn't have dressed 3 dudes up as women. Go to counselling.
Yeah.
Why are Sasha and Bayley? I honestly, I thought, right, he's going to make a street fight for the pay-per-view, and do you know what? I would have even liked to see a loser leaves Raw match. That's, I think, would have been nice. Maybe we'll see that down the line.
Yeah, maybe. I like that. I like that. Actually, really.
You really like that?
No, I do really like that because it makes sense. Why would you keep them on the show? Both because once they naturally drift apart away in a different feud.
You can drag it out. They've dragged it out since WrestleMania, probably even before. In fact, no, it was before WrestleMania this started. You could drag this out another few weeks to SummerSlam, right? You could get there just about with counselling segments, and which they're going to do now. And if it's not Dr. Shelby, I'll be extremely cross. Who's a real doctor, by the way. They can drag it out to SummerSlam and have a loser leaves Raw match, and then obviously whoever loses goes to SmackDown, which, in my opinion, has to be Bayley to reinvent herself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they can drag it out a bit. So far, say Survivor Series.
Because and the reason I say that is because could you really have Sasha, Charlotte, and Asuka on the same show?
Maybe there's nothing stopping WWE from doing a trade.
No, okay, yeah. I made it. They could easily say, "I made a deal."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. We'll
see what happens.
We're shitting on the counselling thing. It could be good.
Really? Are we?
Yeah.
Go to counselling.
It could be good. It could be different. We're not seeing it. I don't think we're going to see a Bayley character change right now. Don't think we're going to see new ring gear right now. I don't think we're going to see new music right now. But I think you might see it at SummerSlam. Could you imagine SummerSlam's big takeaway is the transformation of Bayley? Like she's come out in new ring gear, new music, a new attitude, a new style, a new heel character. The BWO, the Bayley World Order.
The one thing I did like...
Maybe that's why they trademarked the NWO thing again, because Bayley's going to be leader of the NWO.
The women's NWO. Yeah. The WNO, the women's...
The New Women's Order.
I wouldn't be against
wow. Yeah, that's quite good. And then there's going to be the
She's going to be the Hulk Hogan.
The Wolf Pack. And then there's going to be the Latino Women's Order.
Oh, God. Then there's going to be the Women's World Order. The Women's World Order 2000. Yeah. Jesus Christ. The Silver and Black, was that one?
Yeah, that was 2000.
Was that the 2000 one? Okay, that's all we don't talk about, isn't it? Okay, so you know our thoughts on that rivalry now. Counselling. If this is shit, we're going to absolutely love it. Counselling with Sasha and Bayley. Here's a segment, there we go.
I'd like to see some sort of, I don't know, this might be a bit too funny for it, but R-Truth or something just turn up to a counselling thing.
Well, do you know what? Okay,
or Gold Dust.
Let's just keep talking about this, because I might extract this and as a separate with the counselling thing. But what I did actually watch after I watched SmackDown this morning on YouTube was a few segments from Kane and Bryan, their first counselling sessions. So Bryan's got short hair, he's wearing his no t-shirt. Kane's late. Kane's very late to the meeting, and this is when Kane had that kind of black metal mask over his normal mask. When he kind of made this return, had that rivalry with Cena first, didn't he? Kane's late, and Dr. Shelby looks and goes, "Oh, and our last member's just said he's texted me he's coming in." He looks up and goes, "Oh, and here he is." Kane kicks the door through, walks through, everyone moves away, but Bryan's looking through him going, "You're late again, this is not acceptable." And then Dr. Shelby goes, "So Kane, tell us a little bit about yourself." He goes, "Well, when I was a child, my brother burnt my house down with my father and my mother in it. Then years later, I tombstone my brother. I hate Pete Rose. I've buried my brother twice." It's so funny. It's one of the best monologues. It's like 2 minutes of Kane reeling off stuff he's done.
Unfortunately, this can't happen for Bayley and Sasha because
it's so funny.
Yeah, but if this, as much as I'd love to see that happen next week,
so something like that, the characters aren't right.
It wouldn't work, and we want them to actually fight over the fact of who's better.
Their match at TakeOver NXT 2 years ago, still one of the best matches I've ever seen. If they can get to that kind of, because again, just let them wrestle each other for Christ's sake. Let them wrestle each other. I would love the title to be in the situation as well. Okay, that's doing something completely different right now, but I just want to see them wrestle each other.
Yeah.
In a match. Let them have 20 minutes on those 4-hour pay-per-views now. And hopefully that's what we get in the Loser Leaves Raw match, if we get it. There's still 2 more segments to talk about, so let's quickly get on with this. Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor and Constable the Bill, for all intents and purposes. It's a strange bedfellows match almost. This match was made earlier in the evening when Braun said, I really want to be on the same team as Kevin Owens. Okay, he's completely taking the old Michael, but Kevin Owens still had this illusion that Braun wants to be his friend. And they get to the match and Braun's encouraging Kevin Owens and saying to Kevin to do things I do. And you can see Kevin going, actually, I think this is working. He wants to be my friend. What a big doofus. And then it gets to the end of the match when they win and he goes to shake his hand and Braun, the entire time, doesn't touch him. Looks through him. Kevin on his own, because of Kevin's facials and selling and Braun's facials and selling, Kevin, runs away. Okay, I have an issue with the next bit. Not the whole thing, but the next bit. So Kevin gets his bag, gets his key, goes to get his keys, gets 2 security guards to almost escort him to the edge of the building, gets to his car, finds that his keys aren't there with the valet. Braun has managed to get from the ring to the car park, so he's had to go past Kevin Owens, past Gorilla, past where Kevin goes out, get the keys, find the car, tip the car, then hide in quicker time than Kevin did, even though Kevin left before Braun.
While carrying his briefcase.
He had to go get that as well, yeah!
So weird. Did he not take it out to him ringside?
No, he had it ringside, but when he was in the ring celebrating, he didn't have it on him, did he?
Okay.
So he'd had to go to...
He looks very weird carrying that briefcase. But anyway, have you thought that necessarily in the ring wasn't Braun Strowman, it was Braun Strowman?
But the doctor, the doctor?
That's why Braun was able to...
Was it a doctor?
I think he was just a nerdy looking character.
That was so funny with glasses on.
Oh, him tipping over the car, typical Braun.
Counselling! Counselling!
Yeah, exactly.
He's got anger issues.
He's England man.
I said England.
Yeah.
Thursday, Belgium.
But like what you said, it doesn't make sense. He had to go round backstage and do all this and get there.
I know I'm being a nitpicky.
But you're right. In terms of timing, that doesn't happen, right? Maybe they could have gone to a commercial break, then do it, and have them going outside, come back.
Kind of believable if they did that.
But it's a Braun thing, isn't it? Braun does that. Braun just tips a car over.
What I particularly liked, and I said this to you earlier as well, is that the whole time in the ring, then in the car park, when he threw him his keys, he goes, I hope you got insurance with that. The whole time, Kevin, he had his back to Braun as well. Braun could have jumped him.
Yeah.
Braun could have put him through a window. Braun could have done anything he wanted, but he didn't. To Braun, it was more fun to toy with Kevin Owens than almost the easy route just to beat him up. It was more fun for him to mess around with him, which personally to me means he should go to counselling. Nonetheless. So yeah, Braun gets one up on Kevin again. Does Kevin get revenge on Braun at all the next few weeks?
Doubt it. Has anyone got revenge on Braun other than Roman? So
not really. Finn a bit. Not really. Didn't win though, did he? Main event: Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins rematch for the Intercontinental, which opened last week and main events this week. Yeah. So nice bookend on that. Dolph, I've said here, looks at home in the main event. He looks okay. He looks right. He looks like he should be there. Great match. These two obviously have very good chemistry. Last week's match was phenomenal. This week's match, again, top stuff. It looked like Seth had the match won until Drew McIntyre runs down the ramp, jumps in the ring, breaks up the pin. So Dolph stays your Intercontinental Champion via disqualification. And just when you think, well, Seth's screwed, he's going to be beaten down, Roman Reigns makes his second appearance of the evening. And runs down, makes the save. So, I mean, tag match next week on Raw?
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley, what is it? I like the crossing over of storylines, and I like the fact that, even though obviously we're still waiting on Ambrose's return, the Shield are kind of still watching each other's back, which gives me hope for a small Shield run, if nothing major, on Dean's return. But there'll
always be this underlying Shield thing when they're three baby faces, or even three heels, you could say in the future.
Three heels, I wouldn't be against that.
But there always will be that. They'll always tease or have them together or whatever. But look, I'd like to see Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Wouldn't that be great?
I jokingly said off air, let's just get Drew in a bulletproof vest, like similar to Roman Reigns, and they look quite similar to each other. I think
they look like a right squad.
Who's the better looking man, Roman or Drew? Vote now on WWE.com.
Dead draw. Dead draw. So yeah, that's Monday Night Raw. Lots of ups, few downs. It was better than it has been. I think.
It has.
Let's give them credit where credit's not completely shit all over.
But like I said earlier, halfway through, I said to me, this still feels like there's too much filler in there.
So I'm sure we've probably given people too much filler today, but we like to give you a nice rounded view of Monday Night Raw. No stone left unturned, I think is the phrase I'm looking for. But now we are going to move on to SmackDown Live, and this show finishes with a massive surprise. So here's our SmackDown Live review. And welcome back to Dirty Mania SmackDown Live, and we're going to talk about it segment by segment. So
no theme tune this week.
No, well, did you like that last week?
Now, can you remember any other SmackDown theme tunes? Because they've had so many over the last couple of years.
This is in my car as well. Oh, the beautiful people, the beautiful people, the beautiful people. Was that SmackDown?
Was that Raw, wasn't it?
God, why do you say something beautiful, something? Is that not Marilyn Manson? Is that not SmackDown?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, because then the glass shatters of SmackDown, the fist like vroom, and the camera spins round. That's SmackDown, I'm sure.
Right, okay. I'll take your word for it.
There's been a few.
Yeah, there's been loads.
Green Day was Raw.
They used to just change SmackDown's one for every 6 months or so because they're just bored of it.
They never changed the Raw one though, did they? Okay. So we're going to do segment. The first thing I want to talk about to you is the New Day and Rusev Day. You had Rusev, who is now the number one contender for the WWE title. Never thought I'd be saying those words coming out of my mouth. Versus Xavier Woods. Now, I'll talk about the match very briefly in a moment. But I want to talk to you about the New Day as a team. In this match, Rusev beats Xavier Woods. It was a good match, but fine. They're very good friends off camera. So they do a lot of stuff together on Up, Down, Down, which is Xavier Woods' YouTube show on gaming on YouTube. But in the last 9 days, Kofi lost the Money in the Bank match, Big E lost the number one contender gauntlet match, and now Woods has lost against the number one contender. So from going into Money in the Bank, they were like all kind of winning in these 6-man tags, singles matches. They didn't really lose, and since the pay-per-view and including the pay-per-view, they're losing. So is it a case of elevating and now back in your hole, or is it because it's not tag matches, you're not going to win because you're a tag team? How is this? Where do New Day go from here? Because for me, I was completely sold on your idea about them winning the briefcase, and now I'm actually disappointed. I really can't see. Going back towards the tag team titles picture is months away for them if they go for that. Where do they go from here?
I said before, I don't think there's long left. I think at some point something will happen with someone turning heel, whatever. However it happened. Maybe they just go their separate ways. I think they could afford to lose matches.
Oh, they could afford to lose.
I think they're big enough and credible enough to lose matches. Mm-hmm. Even sort of tag team matches, I think they can lose. But, like you're saying, they are a tag team. They are the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. Is it of all time, or is it like? Because everyone says, Brock Lesnar's beat CM Punk's record, but it's not CM Punk's record because technically Bruno Sammartino's got the record.
It's the modern day record, isn't it?
But yeah, I think they can. I think they can lose. I think they end up facing Sanity at some point, but they need to build Sanity up, get them introduced to the main roster.
They could be cool 6-man tag matches, yeah.
I had a thought the other day watching the night one of the UK Championship tournament.
Okay.
With British Strong Style versus Undisputed Era.
Versus Sanity.
Wouldn't it be good if they had a tournament style trios tag team tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I think there's so many 16
teams, and you can have loads of random teams put together. You can have obviously British Strong Style, Undisputed Era, New Day, Sanity. You probably have Deleter of Worlds with Jeff Hardy, or
get the Mr. Raj back together.
Or you can have Authors of Pain with Roman Reigns. And,
Drew Galloway.
Yeah.
McIntyre.
There's just, I think there's so much potential. I think it'll be different. Because WWE seem to be doing a lot of tournaments lately and everything like that.
I think I want to do a special with you on tournaments and Overkill because
Mae Young Classic's coming back.
It is,
and
originally when that first Cruiserweight Classic, I was really excited, like genuinely excited. Didn't even know there would be a Cruiserweight title with the finish of it, so I was very excited. And now I'm like, okay, another tournament, That's like two or 3 years.
Yeah, it's very interesting with tournaments that they've not even brought back King of the Ring. Like, you would have thought they would have brought that back.
The traditional, the greatest tournament.
The last one was King Barrett, right, or Bad News Barrett, or Wade Barrett, or whatever it was. Right, he was the last,
and that was like a Raw or something.
But that was done on the network. It was done.
It was after SmackDown.
Yeah, yes, I think it was, wasn't it? And which makes sense. So then why don't they just have a singles tournament on the network? 32 people. You can do a 64-man tournament or something ridiculous like that.
Oh,
just
there's so many
spread
people.
It out.
There's so many people.
An hour show every week. There you go, done. That's like 6
months.
Of
6 months of television. Yeah. Done. Well done, Kieran. Good booking.
Anyway, SmackDown. New Day. I just think something's got to happen. I've used this phrase far too often. I need to think of a different phrase. But they're treading water.
But they are treading water high up the card. They're not sort of langering around. They are still established.
They're not Randy Orton level of treading water. They're still entertaining. They're still they still get crowd interaction. The pancake thing still goes over my head, I think, but it's still funny to a degree. But I mean,
the best analogy was before Bray won those tag titles. They were the Bray Wyatts of treading water.
Yeah,
because Bray was sinking.
Something has to happen at some point. I think splitting them up, because they've been together. Was it 4 or 5 years nearly?
When was that first Preacher promo put on? And we didn't really know the members, did we? It was like, oh, there's Big E. Oh, now there's Woods. Oh, and now there's Xavier. Yeah. Oh, it's the new Nation of Domination.
Maybe they need to freshen it up by introducing a new member into the New Day. I don't know.
Maybe add some ladies. Maybe turn heel.
Yeah.
I mean, they started as heel, finished as, maybe if they all turned heel. Of course, you have to assume that the merchandise sales will be a talking point and a point that WWE.
Of course, but someone comes in and replaces it. Like Rusev's come in the last 6 months and sold ridiculous amounts of Rusev Day T-shirts.
They were the top sellers.
And now they've got Lana Day T-shirts.
Elias was in the top 3, and he had 2 of those T-shirts in the top 3.
And you got to remember, John Cena has had a new T-shirt in 6 months, so.
And he's probably still up there, top 5.
And he'll probably get a new one released next week, and he's not even on the show. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm engaged to be married, but not anymore. Now I've had my vasectomy undone, but you still bought this T-shirt with John Cena's face on it.
There's still room for his face after all those words.
Hustle, loyalty, and respect. Make sure you get that on.
Reverse snippatorial. So, we see what New Day do in the coming weeks and months. Glow are backstage on SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
Minus
Karma. Kia Stevens is his real name is.
Or what was
Awesome Kong.
Awesome. I was going to call her Rocker Kong, but that was actually someone else in TNA. Yes, Awesome Kong. She wasn't there,
which I thought was interesting when they had this segment. I was like, it was great that they were there.
Shoehorned? Jumping on the bandwagon, WWE going,
possibly.
Season 1, we weren't really sure. Season 2, that's really good.
But it makes sense. Naomi is Feel the Glow. There's a TV series called Glow about women's wrestling.
Why was Lana there?
Because Lana was Russian, and they were talking to the person who plays Zoya the Destroyer.
Very well.
Which I thought was entertaining. She was entertaining.
You say Lana's Russian.
Yeah.
She's completely dropped the accent now, isn't she? Apart from when she says Rusev, and she still says it.
When the person who plays Zoya the Destroyer, I can't remember her name. But when she started talking Russian, and suddenly Lana went and started talking Russian.
She can speak Russian. Yeah. I mean, she went to ballet school in Russia, so she knows Russian.
Yeah.
But she's in California.
They're obviously trying to fade the Russian out of it.
It's like Kofi's Jamaican.
Yeah, exactly. And you from Boston.
Was that Triple H, wasn't it?
But yeah, like they shoehorned it in. Put it together. I liked it. They're promoting it. That they
cross promotion.
Yeah, they've done it well enough that it wasn't just someone turning up just trying to sell something and knows nothing about wrestling. Obviously they know stuff about wrestling because they've had to research it and do it.
Chavo Guerrero trained them as well for the show. They've also did, I don't know if you've seen this, a very entertaining wrap off It was the Ladies of Glow versus the Bella Twins, Carmella and Alicia Fox. Well, so we should call her Alicia Fox. Yeah, so they did a rap battle on a, I don't know, American TV show. Very entertaining. The Ladies of Glow won. So well done to them. You know, I can actually see more of this in the future. Not a lot, just well placed, thought out promos and backstage segments.
When I saw that Karma wasn't there, I was thinking, is there a particular reason that she is not there?
Or is it just
a bit of foreshadowing there? Maybe she comes back and takes out somebody. But no. No, I don't see it. But
she's the only one out of them that's actually a wrestler.
Could you imagine Kong versus Nia Jax?
Wow. There's phrases that, I mean, are they too similar? But I would just like to see it. Just to see why not. One-off show, one-off match. So yeah, quick segment there. Nice to see them. Jeff Hardy is now issuing an open challenge for his United States title. Shinsuke Nakamura injured. I thought this was just like a kayfabe shoot thing. You said it was real.
Yeah, so there's a news story that sort of broke this morning. That is a minor news story. It's not like breaking news. No. But apparently he got bit by a police dog or a security guard dog at a house show on Monday. And his leg is a bit sore, so that's why he was pulled from the match. Bit weird. Never thought I'd see someone getting bit by a dog. Obviously, a security dog shouldn't bite anyone for any reason, so obviously that dog will need to be retrained. But to bite Shinsuke Nakamura is a bit weird.
Yeah,
maybe the dog wanted to get wanted to low blow him or something like that in return.
Do you know what the dog needs, Kieran? Counselling.
Yeah, dog needs counselling.
Dog needs counselling.
Shinsuke might need counselling.
He might actually.
Stop that.
So fair play. Best wishes to Shinsuke.
So yeah, apparently this is a story that's come out.
However, on the television show, Jeff Hardy issued an open challenge, and out come Eric Young of Sanity. Killian Dane and Alexander were with him. It was a good match, nice chemistry. They've wrestled each other multiple times before, mainly in Impact Wrestling. So the first time on WWE television. Really liking the tweak to the Jeff Hardy character, who reportedly now, and he's 40 years old, Jeff. It's insane. Yeah. He on house shows now. He's just, for this finish, he's doing the Twist of Fate followed by a splash. And everyone's going, he was not going to use this, but he used the Swanton Bomb on SmackDown. Being selective is being smart.
Yeah.
He's older now. If he wants to still do the occasional high-flying maneuver, suicide dives, jumping from ladders, swanton bombs, do it, but don't do it when it's when it's a house show. For
example, you're not going to see Daniel Bryan do a diving headbutt
anymore.
Doesn't make sense.
He might do that. If he was in the main event at WrestleMania again, he might do it once. Yeah. But even then, he'd probably be under advisement. Don't do it.
It's like, at some point, Rey Mysterio might not be able to do the 6-1 or doing the Hurricanrana off the top rope after the 619. Or was it?
No,
was it called dropping the dime? That bit.
The bit where he hasn't done the when he did that springboard into the West Coast Pop. He's not done that. He's done that for years.
Case in point. Then
what he used to do, he used to like a drop toe hold, 619 West Coast Pop, and spin them round.
Yeah.
He's not done that for years. Now he just does 619, then they go down, top rope. He kind of did a variation of the frog splash with Eddie Guerrero, that whole the storyline, the memorial storyline, if you like. But now he just does a big kind of like almost big splash. So yeah, he hasn't done that. You have to tweak and vary your moveset.
These people on the road for nearly 300 days a year, they're going to have to slow down and help themselves at some point, you know.
There's nothing wrong with being selective.
No,
it's being smart.
Yeah.
It's being smart. So, yeah, Sanity and Jeff Hardy. Eventually, the Usos come out. Even the numbers. We end up in a 6-man tag, which made in the commercial break. Won by the Hardy Boy and the Usos. Interesting match. I kind of think we'll have a rematch next week, maybe.
So, Jeff Hardy had his face paint on. Why didn't the Usos?
They're not. Well, all right, okay. Well, yeah, but we're not. If we were still
Trios tag team, brother.
Jeff Hardy can't team with the Usos, and Willow can. Willow can team with the Usos, and Jeff can team with Bray and Matt.
Can you imagine the Usos and Rikishi as a trios tag? Okay.
No, I can't actually. Too cool.
Oh,
there we go. If you can get Grandmaster Sexy show, that'd be great. We move on very quickly. Becky versus Sonya. We had Sonya Deville with Mandy Rose. Do you think Mandy and Sonia really? I mean, the Absolution storyline, we know what happened with Paige. It's gone now.
Yeah.
Do Sonia and Mandy need to kind of find different paths?
Yes, I think so.
Yes,
But I think, and what you find with a lot of the women's division is that there always seems to be, there's no like lone wolf in there, so to speak. There's always someone with someone, and someone with someone, and it's like the Iconics together. Carmella had Natalia in the welcoming committee, and it's always like there was Team PCB in the beginning, and Team Bad and all that stuff, and they always seem to be somewhat. They always seem to be aligned with someone. Alexa and Mickie James.
Alexa and Nia prior to that.
Natalia and Ronda. They always seem to be aligned with someone. Sasha and Bayley. They're always just there. They don't seem to want to just commit someone going, here's a character, she's on her own, let's get on with it. Charlotte and Becky, another one.
Yeah, it's almost like they actually have a thriving tag division without any tag titles. Now, I know we've spoke about before, are they ready for tag titles in the women's division? There can't be 2 tag divisions because it's just there's not enough.
I don't know if you've seen the news story that of Becky Lynch has apparently been pushing for a women's tag team division for the last year.
Oh, really?
And she wants it to take place over Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Great.
Which would make sense.
That would. The logistics, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know how it'd work.
But I agree. And now even the NXT UK.
Surely having tag titles that take place over 3 brands
would prestige them. I think
makes it more prestigious than like the Universal title or the WWE title.
Or any other men's title or any other women's title, because there's only going to be one.
Yeah.
But I think what Becky's doing now, I didn't know that. So that I like that, because for me, that shows that she understands, and obviously that there's not enough women on each show to keep just a women's tag division going. So to have, personally, I just think Raw and SmackDown would be enough for now. I don't necessarily think you need a women's division, tag division NXT. But if you had one on Raw, and then you could easily have the number. If the SmackDown, say the Iconic Duo, the tag champs, they go right. Raw will now have a number 1 contender match. Okay, at the pay-per-view, they will face them. And then, people from Raw win. That means SmackDown have to. So whoever's not on that show, they have to tee up the next challenger to keep it fresh, to keep it coming backwards and forwards.
Triple H also said in an interview, because obviously he's been doing a lot of interviews for the UK tournament and NXT and everything like that. He said he does see that at some point in the future there will be a women's only pay-per-view or show. Mm-hmm. So
I actually am surprised we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
because of the way that.
Well, not been funny. They had the Greatest Royal Rumble, which featured all men. Why can't they now have a pay-per-view that just features all women?
Right, exactly.
Maybe have a women's tag team tournament on that show to crown a tag team
on the Australia show.
Yeah. No, just in a show, a women's show.
You're
going to have both titles defended. You probably have the NXT women's title defended.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe depending on timing, you have the NXT UK women's title defended. So that's
if there's one by then, we don't know when. But why not
to fill out the rest of the card? Have a women's tag team,
and of course, even with the men, they do to the traditional. Nobody else has a match battle royale to open the show. So yeah,
why not have a Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic for women?
For women, they got the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, they're necessary. They could just keep the Dusty name. They can just have the Dusty Rhodes Men's Classic and the Dusty Rhodes Women's Classic. Doesn't mean, we at Revo played in the Mary Wells Memorial Trophy. It doesn't mean that it's a women's match, does it? So
no, I agree. I just, for clarity, to call the same thing. I think that
from a branding point of view.
There's no issue with it being women's or men's.
Dusty Rhodes had his sons and daughters, his kids, his NXT kids. So
look at Bayley. Bayley's entire gear is based on.
And women apply to his kids, to what he's calling his kids. So
he calls them his NXT kids. So Becky and Sonia.
Yeah, so
Becky won.
Becky won another match. Becky seems to be having matches every week on SmackDown
and winning
matches
every week. So when's her title shot?
Yeah, I assume it'll be coming.
Speaking of title shots, Asuka will get her rematch at Extreme Rules. James Ellsworth was the sole representative of this feud in the ring. Ever thought you'd see that, Kieran?
So a women's segment, basically dominated by a man.
Yeah. But then Paige obviously brought balance to the force, if you may, and said that this match would happen at Extreme Rules. James Ellsworth then did something that we haven't seen on WWE television for some time. A man asking a woman out on a date. Because you want this. Now,
Craig, you got to take your chances, especially when a girl as
Good.
hot as Paige is in the ring.
He made his move. Did he make it too fast?
You've got to come up with a better line.
Yeah. Anything with two hands, I think.
Man's not got no game.
No, yeah. Okay, you saying man's got no game just makes me cringe a bit.
Why would you not want me to give you my best chat line?
Well, sure, go on then. Go on then. I'm in a bar. Here we go. La 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 la. It was nice
Craig,
drinks in here.
People have been saying stuff behind your back.
What is that?
Nice ass.
Oh, okay. I'll sleep with you.
My bed's right here.
It's actually, I'm leaning on it.
Oh,
Very good. That was so good.
hello, lady.
And that's why you were single for 10 years.
Possibly, but doesn't mean I wasn't. Next segment.
James Ellsworth tried his luck with Paige. Paige said, sure. Oh, by the way, it's not a date. You have a match with Asuka next week. So he's back in the WWE and he's straight back into intergender matches.
Yeah.
He left with that match with Becky Lynch. He's back in with Asuka. He is like we've spoken before with the intergender video. He's the perfect person to have, as he is the correct size. He's the correct weight. He's perfect.
He has the correct gimmick as a chicken shit heel. And that's not to say in the future that
it's a test. It's a tease.
It's a test. It's not to say in the future that bigger men will not face women, but at the moment to get people.
It's to gauge the crowd.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if the shareholders for WWE, the sponsors of WWE, and the crowd, there's a lot of people to have to say, do you like men versus women?
Yeah.
You can't. Vince back in the 90s or the Attitude Era, Vince could do what he wants.
Yeah.
He can't do that anymore.
So it's like tennis. And
We've spoken about this before.
We won't count Serena Williams and Venus Williams in this because they're freaks of nature.
Maria Navratilova when she was one of the best.
So it's like
having
Roger Federer versus like a young Sloane Stephens. Like she's quite.
What about Sharapova?
Yeah, the men are going to dominate that because Roger's got more power to use and more. The
men's games are longer
and they're stronger. It's just a natural given thing. But when you've got someone like Asuka who's got the striking ability and you're going up against James Ellsworth, who is, by all intents and purposes,
a chicken shit.
Cruiserweight.
Oh, a cruiserweight and a chicken shit.
In weight sort of thing. And
I probably made more than you. You definitely would.
Exactly. So you can see it. But, and that's not to say that in the future that we won't see a Seth Rollins versus Charlotte. I think we will.
Slowly but surely.
But slowly you have to build it up to make it credible that a woman can be a man wrestler.
Yes, correct.
And in these matches for WWE's brand, they have to say no striking of opponents in intergender matches. They probably have to make sure they say
forearms, maybe. You can have a very, 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 very good match without having to. You can kick someone, but you don't have to punch
obviously
them in the face.
intergender wrestling at the match, they're going to have that. But from WWE, because they're a big multinational brand,
I do like that. Have slightly tweaked rules.
Yeah.
Don't have strikes.
Yeah,
kicks. Okay.
Yeah. No one wants, because there's going to be some sort of domestic violence sort of thing about it because it's men hitting women, and that should never happen. But
no, women shouldn't hit men either. Let's make it balanced. But yes,
but you can't, from WWE's perspective, they're not going to want a man punching a woman on live TV. It's not going to look good.
It doesn't.
But so if they say no strikes to the face, but you can have kicks and you can do chops and you can do things like that.
It's just strikes, really. I think, like, for example, the other thing anything to the head, really, because can you imagine Seth doing his sidekick to the side of someone like Charlotte's head? Again, that might come under some sort of problematic issue. So no strikes to the face, kicks or punches. I think you work on a nice formula there.
But I think someone like a Seth Rollins or an AJ Styles, if they were wrestling women, they'd find a way around it because they're that good in the ring. They'd find a way around to say, I can't do a kick, I can't do this, so we'll wrestle.
Oh, a lot of the boys would be. That's fine. A lot of the guys.
A lot of the men would want to protect the women as well. I'm pretty sure. Like they'd want to make sure.
You can only have a good match if both people look good.
Yeah.
So there's no point. Say if because Cesaro used to wrestle his wife on the Independents. Solara Del Rey, who's one of the head trainers at the Performance Center. So there's no way that Cesaro would go into a match and go, I'm going to get my shit and I'm going to be a man about this, He wants the match to be the best match on the show. Yeah. So, you have to work as a team. It's Charlotte and Seth Rollins, if they wrestled each other against each other, it's a team effort, Yeah.
So anyway, Asuka will be Ellsworth next week.
Hopefully rather convincingly. The last thing I want to talk about on this week's Dirt Sheet Mania. I'm very excited about this. So, Miz TV. We open the show tonight with Miz TV and the Bludgeon Brothers. Miz.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, very scary. And we do talk. Miz discusses with them about last week. They beat up Daniel Bryan. Miz pinned Daniel Bryan, so he wants them to be a new team and be the new Mr. Raj. Takes it too far, doesn't he, Miz? Doesn't know the line. No line. Eventually, we get Daniel Bryan come out. Miz tries to goad him while hiding, but I love the placement, the camera work here. Miz hiding behind the Bludgeon Brothers, talking, running his mouth. We do have Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper later on tonight.
There was no speaking by the Bludgeon Brothers until Harper said, "You never know when to stop, do you, Daniel?" Which I thought was a little peek back to the Wyatt family part, which I thought was very nice. Bludgeon Brothers didn't say much. I like that.
They don't need to, yeah.
But what was said was impactful.
Perfect.
And it was short. It was perfect. It's not to say that they don't talk, but they only talk when they need to.
It was like Braun when he first got repackaged,
Yeah, and I like that. And the thing is, we know that Luke Harper is a great wrestler. And, I was really looking forward to Bryan versus Harper.
Yeah, and they did at that point. They did have a very good match. And I liked the whole, it is, even though they haven't mentioned it, you do, and I certainly do. You think about the Wyatt family from a few years ago when Bryan was a member and had that huge feud with Bray, and you think about the implications that now Miz is kind of involved in this feud as well. Miz, having this extremely high-profile feud, non-physical feud with Daniel Bryan.
It seems to be very much so that they're still keeping Bryan and Miz in our thoughts, but they're still not facing it. Bryan has to face everyone else first before he gets to Miz.
They've done everything they've wrestled on house shows, 6-man tag, singles matches, but they've not wrestled each other one-on-one on TV since Bryan's medical clearance has come through.
I sit there and think, when are they going to do this match? And obviously, providing Bryan signs his deal, which we're just going to see what he's going to do, it's going to be at WrestleMania. I think it'll be a WrestleMania match.
We'll find out. Yeah. So, the match later comes Luke Harper versus Daniel Bryan. Luke Harper was about to tap out. They had him in the yes lock.
Yeah.
Luke, a bit like the finish to the main event of Raw, actually. Drew Galloway got involved in the Dolph Seth match. Eric Rowan got involved in this match. And then, if I said, Kieran, I want you to write down 10 scenarios to finish this match after Eric Rowan has interfered, I'm almost certain you wouldn't have got what was going to happen.
So we
next.
sat there last week and we said, who's going to be Bryan's tag partner?
We did actually speculate.
We assumed he was going to have a tag partner.
We did.
For
this storyline to continue.
We jokingly said Shane, I think.
Shane, maybe?
Yeah, I know Ty Dillinger put his hat.
He did. He tweeted him.
But there's no way I thought that Mr. Mayor of Knox County elect Kane would come down.
Actually supposed to be a Raw talent, but we forget about that.
I'm pretty sure he was on Raw.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't. He's a legend. He can do what he likes.
Paige comes out, and for Extreme Rules,
hang on.
What?
No, Kane comes down.
Yes. Okay.
Very slowly. Very ominously. I'm sitting there.
Is he going to beat him up?
I'm going, what the hell's happening? Why is Kane here? I actually said, why the fuck is Kane here? And then it gets in the ring, and then he's standing there. And it's like, is he going to take it on Bryan? This is a typical WWE move, Bryan.
Like a double swerve, yeah.
And Kane's done it before with certain things.
Everyone.
And then, obviously, they ultimately take out, Kane ultimately takes out the Bludgeon Brothers with Daniel Bryan helping, and then everyone's going, hug it. I'm pretty sure they said hug it out. It didn't sound like hug it out. But
Kane had his arms out. Yeah. Slowly. Kane went first. Kane slowly had his arms out. Bryan looked at Kane and shook his head, and I thought, they're going to tease us for the next 3 weeks, a bit like the Shield did with when Dean and Seth kept doing the other fists, and then they dragged that out for a good month, and I thought they're going to do the same here. Bryan went to one corner, looked back over at Kane, and then he kind of semi-paced ran towards him. I thought, what's he going to do? And then they hugged.
Yeah, the whole crowd were going, yes. Yeah,
God.
And then they hugged. And then,
Paige made a match for Extreme Rules. We will have the Bludgeon Brothers defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Team Hell No. What the is going on, Kieran?
Yeah, what the hell is going on?
Team Hell No.
I don't see. I like this. So I popped for it. I was like, wow, okay. I was never expecting I would have seen this. But is this a one and done?
I think so, because when Kane made his returns on Raw, he had a good. He was an established veteran talent, having matches with Brock and with Bray, with Braun. And
would this match have been big enough for SummerSlam?
with a little bit more build.
Yeah.
With a little, not saying they need weeks and weeks,
with the
but
Bludgeon Brothers just decimating Daniel every week past Extreme Rules. Well, he had a
surprise partner.
He had a different partner at Extreme Rules. Say Ty
gets beat.
They get beat and then gets
beaten up. Writes Ty off for a couple of weeks.
2 weeks before SummerSlam, he goes, "I found my tag team partner."
Not even,
or Kate. The same thing happened on SmackDown. Just do that. Maybe they could have done it better for SummerSlam, but I assume that Brian will probably have a better match, a bigger match.
We don't know. It could be Kane versus Brian at SummerSlam. Maybe Kane. I know. I don't want it either, but
I mean, I sat there and was like, "What the hell's Kane doing?" I was like, "Oh, Kane's going to be in another main event." You know, just like for God's sake, why? What? Just let him go. Just let him be.
Let him go.
Let him be a mayor.
So
do politics, but tag match I can work with.
I can work with that.
It's
too.
like if Big Show come out, I can go. Oh, I can deal with that. He's in a tag match. If it's a singles match.
Jericho. Remember Jericho?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Talking of trios, what about Undertaker, Brian and Kane?
Oh my God, they had to win that.
You missed out the Shield. Why wouldn't you say the Shield, Craig?
Did you not say the Shield?
I didn't say the
They
Shield.
said the Shield. So, that was Raw and SmackDown.
Kevin Nash, Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan.
So, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of Dirty Mania. Episode number 20, and just like WrestleMania 20, where it all begins again. Hey, Kieran? Ready for another 20?
Well, I've got time.
Not now, we don't.
No, cool. I'm going back to bed.
Thank you very much, the Director of Creativity. He can sleep so I can procrastinate. Thank you, Kieran.
Thanks, Craig.
You're very welcome. I've been your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson. Thank you for listening to Dirt Sheet Main episode 20. Go and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and like us. And, of course, give us a review on iTunes. We will see you next week. Bye-bye. Dilly dilly.
Come on, England!